Hello friends, it's your boy Treyant, and today I'm here for my draft analysis for the UNPL Academy. We're in the Kitakami division, like I said before. And yeah, I'm very excited for this team that I drafted. I would say it's probably one of my favorite teams that I've ever drafted. Um, this team is very fun. It's got a nice mix of Pokemon that I've used before and I'm very comfortable with, and a nice mix of Pokemon that I've never used before. And it's also got a little bit of content, a little bit of clickbait, thumbnail clickbait in there. So I'm very excited to use this team. So without further ado, let's get right into it. First Mon we drafted, I was, if I remember correctly, I think I was 11th out of 16. So I did not have a good pick at all. But as everybody knows, everybody that plays draft knows, when new Pokemon come out, everybody wants to use them regardless of who is the best. So the first couple picks did not go as I planned. And so I was able to take Dragapult at pick, I think 11. It might have been 10, but I'm pretty sure it was 11. Complete steal. Arguably the best Mon in draft format. Fifth fastest Pokemon in the format, only behind Regieleki, Deoxys Speed, and the two Electrodes. This Mon is ridiculously bulky, hits hard on the special and the physical side, has setup moves, has defensive capabilities with Screens and Will-O-Wisp. It's got Sub-Hex. It's such a good Pokemon. Everybody always kind of shits on Dragapult for being boring, but I'm going to make it fun. I've been playing Draft since Gen 7. Obviously, Dragapult came out in Gen 8, and I have never been able to draft Dragapult. I've only had number one pick one time, and I took Iron Valiant back at the beginning of Gen 9 because I also had not used that, and I kind of regretted it because I've had other opportunities to take Valiant, and I have never taken Dragapult. So I'm very excited to use it, and I'm going to make it worthwhile. So next, we have Terapagos. So I saw Terapagos was still on the board, and I was like, man, I got Dragapult. I'm feeling good right now. What else can I pair to make this even more fun? So I got the newest Pokemon to the game, to DLC 2. We got Terapagos. Terapagos is an insanely good Mon. Might have been a bit overpriced because these tiers released very early on into DLC. It's tiered at 19 points, which was the most expensive. So maybe a little bit of an oversight on my part, but at the same time, we're doing it for the content, man. We got a brand new Mon. It's got a lot of utility. It gets Recover, it gets Spin, it gets Toxic as a non-poison type, which is very rare. And its moveset and move pool, or its move pool and stat spread is just insane. I'm very much looking forward to using it. Its ability is crazy. It's one of the best defensive abilities we've ever seen in Pokemon, so I'm very excited to use it. Next, we decided to pick up another Pokemon that I have never used before. We decided to pick up Mr. Iron Hands. So Iron Hands is one of those mons that every time I have to face it, I always dread playing it because it's just so consistently good. It's one of those Pokemon that no matter what set you run on it, no matter what matchup you bring it into, it's always going to do something just because it's so bulky and it hits so hard naturally, even with no investment, that it's always going to contribute something. It's never going to get one shot by anything that's not set up, and it's never going to just do no damage. It can be a setup sweeper, it can be an AV Tankmon, it can be a complete defensive piece with Rocky Helmet Drain Punch. It's so versatile. It gets Volt Switch, and as you can see, whenever we start to get through the rest of my team, I have a lot of momentum, a lot of U-turn and Volt Switch, so we're going to be abusing that a lot, and having slow Volt Switch into some of these Pokemon is just going to be fantastic. So next pick, I was looking through the roster, or I was looking through the draft while I was at work, and I came across something that I thought was ridiculously underpriced, a complete steal for where it was at. So our Terra rules were 12 points and under. So any Pokemon 12 points and under can Terra for a total of, I believe, 18. And so when I saw this Pokemon was in 12 points, I was like, nah, this is ridiculous. This Pokemon should not be allowed to Terra. It should be 13, 14 minimum. I think it could be a 15-point Mon, arguably. But with Terra, this Pokemon should be like 16 points. We decided to pick up Monkey Dory. So we're running it back with Monkey Dory for the third time. Monkey Dory, I've kind of underused it just a little bit, but it has been very good in PUDL, and I'm excited to use it again in UNPL. We got Terra Poison, Terra Fighting, and Terra Ice on it. Those Terra types are subject to change. I'm kind of testing the waters a little bit as far as what my Terra types are going to be. But yeah, Terra Monkey Dory I think is just a little bit too OP for the 12 points here. I think that mon is insanely good already, and just adding Terra to it to be able to give it a typing that hits its one weakness, which is hitting steel types, is just really good for it. So yeah. With my next pick, I decided to pick up something that I have not used in Gen 9, surprisingly. I think I've used it in a speed tour or two, but that doesn't really count. We decided to take Azumarill. Azumarill, kind of like Iron Hands, it's so naturally bulky and hits hard so naturally that it's just always going to contribute something. It's very versatile. You can run AV sets, you can run Belly Drum, you can just run Choice Banded sets, you can just run like bulky leftover sets. It gets Sap Sipper. There's just so many different things that it can do to just be annoying, and I'm here for it. Azumarill is going to be a great Pokemon paired next to the team that I have already. It's a really good naturally bulky water. It gives me checks to things like Palafin and Chi-Yu, which I always forget to draft checks for. So yeah, that is exactly why we picked it. Going into my next pick, I feel like I needed some more speed. My team was a little lacking other than Dragapult, Monkey Dory sitting at 106. Nothing too great. We decided to pick up Kilowattrel. So Kilowattrel, another Pokemon that could Terra, but unfortunately I could not afford the points for it because I decided to keep Monkey Dory as a Terra captain because I thought it was just still ridiculously underpriced. Kilowattrel at 8 points with Terra is still a little underpriced, but at the same time I really didn't need Terra on it like I did on Monkey Dory. So yeah, we got Kilowattrel. It's got a good speed tier. It's immune to electric. My ground type is not all that, so that was helpful. We are a little weak to ground, so that was helpful as well. And it just adds to our Volt Turn combo, getting U-Turn and Volt Switch. Excuse me. Next Pokemon, we have a Alolan Persian. This is a guilty pleasure draft Pokemon of mine. I draft this thing almost every time I see it on the board. It's just so fast, so naturally bulky on the physical side. It gets U-Turn and Parting Shot, and it gets just a lot of good coverage that people don't expect. And it has a pretty terrible offensive stat for special and physical, but it still hits decently hard if it's using super effective moves. And it gets T-Wave as well. It's just such a versatile mon. And for 5 points, I thought this thing was crazy. It is a Terra Captain. We do have Terra Dark, Terra Fairy, and Terra Fire on it. Once again, experimenting a little with that. We did get Terra Fairy just in case we can't bring Azu, but we do need a Fairy. And then we also have Terra Fire for a little bit of offensive pressure into certain Steel types if we need it. Because we do struggle to beat those a little bit with the team that I've drafted so far. So yeah, that's what we decided to go with for Alolan Persian. Next, we got Toedscruel. Oops, sorry. We got Toedscruel. So Toedscruel gave me my second spinner. My removal at this point was horrible, and it was only getting worse because I was just not finding things that I needed. So yeah, we got Toedscruel. It gives us a good base 100 speed tier, which we did not have. It hits decently hard with base 80 special attack. A lot of people don't prep for offensive Toedscruel. It gives us Spore. We got Spikes and Stealth Rocks and Toxic Spikes. Like I said, it gives us a spinner. We get Leech Seed Spam. Toedscruel, not really a guilty pleasure mine because I haven't used it very much, but when I have used it, I've been very comfortable with it because it's just right up my playstyle. It's a good Spadef wall, kind of pairs well with Iron Hands. Yeah, I'm very excited to use this thing. Next, I was looking at my team and I was like, man, I've really dipped into some of the low point totals for some of these last mons, and my team was just starting to get very weak to things like Fairy. I only had one Fairy resistant Monkey Dory. I still did not have a Steel type, and my team was also looking decently weak to Fire as well, just not having very many resistances, and Dragapult not being the bulkiest of resistances. So I decided to pick up round 9 Heatran. I don't know how, but Heatran was still available in round 9. I had the points to afford it. It broke the bank just a little bit, but I decided to take Heatran. I thought it fit perfectly on this team. The only thing that I struggled with when picking Heatran was that it gave me another ground weakness, but we can work around that. You know, we have Kilowattrel. We have a lot of just bulky offense too, so I'm not really too worried about the ground types. Maybe I should be, but at the same time, I think we're good. I think we totally got this under control. And so yeah, that is pretty much exactly what I needed. Like Heatran was perfect when I was looking through everything. I was like, yeah, I need a steel type. Fortress was already gone. I was looking in the low tiers, and I was like, wait a second, Heatran's still available. So I decided to take it. Last but not least, we got 2 points left. And I thought that it was more beneficial to get a 1-point Terra Captain and then also draft another 1-pointer than it was to get a 2-point Mon and not have another Terra Captain. So I decided to scourge through the 1-pointers, and I found some steals. So we got Arctibax. Arctibax is a Terra Captain. I decided to get Terra Ice, Terra Ground, and Terra Electric on it. I think this thing is a steal for 1 point with Eviolite DD. It can clean up endgames if I really need it to, or if we see a team is just very weak to Ice or they have no Fairy. Arctibax will probably be coming because it's definitely going to put in work as a 1-point Terramon. I thought it was a bit of a steal. So yeah, and then going to our last pick, I decided to just go for some utility just in case on the off chance I needed it. We decided to pick up Quaxwell. Second bulky water, never a bad thing. Helps me with my fire weakness. It's so bulky on the physical side, it can take those ground type moves if I need it to and then threaten back with water moves. It does get spin. I believe it does get roost, and I think it gets flip turn as well. So it's a very good utility mon. It's basically just mini Quaxwell. It doesn't get Aqua Step, but I think it still gets basically everything else. No Aqua Step and no CC, if I remember correctly. But yeah, Quaxwell, I thought it was a perfect addition to this team. It gave me another spinner, so that way I don't have to worry about running boots on everything. Yeah, Quaxwell, just like Persian, will be coming on weeks that Azu is not as useful. If I need like recovery from my bulky water, Quaxwell's going to be there. So yeah, this is my team for UNPL. If you guys have any comments on the team, feel free to leave them down in the comment section. If you think there's any transactions I should make, if you think there's any changes to my Terra types that I should make, feel free to leave those down in the comment section as well. And like always, thank you to Danny and the admin team for having me. I'm very excited for the season. We got a tough schedule ahead of us. A lot of good coaches, but as always, we are better. We're going to win. So yeah, I will see you guys in the week 1 video. Peace.